brought to you by Courtyard by Marriott.
As Shedeur Sanders, and this is looking like Aaron Rodgers. Could be like Boomer Esiason back in 1984, slid to the second round. Think about Brett Favre as well. Geno Smith. This has happened before. And guess what? All those quarterbacks turned out to be pretty doggone good. So for Shedeur Sanders, the key right now is 21 Pittsburgh. He gets past Pittsburgh. Who maneuvers to go get Shedeur Sanders, or they wait until he falls in their lap, right? That'll be interesting because guess what? He will come back to haunt some of these organizations that pass on him. Count on that.
The ESPN Draft Day predictor surprised, perhaps, that Shedeur Sanders hasn't been drafted yet, but not stunned. Maybe the bigger surprise is that Jaylen Walker is still on the board. Jaylen Walker had, according to our predictions, less than a 1% chance still to be available here at the 15th selection. The Atlanta Falcons are a team that certainly could use defensive help. Would that be a pick that makes sense here?
Yeah.
Well, let's go back to Mel's graphic for a moment here if we can. We talk about quarterback sliding, and these have been some of those that you were talking about.
Yeah, this is based on my grades and all the mocks and everything I was doing then. Who was the surprise? You see Geno Smith all the way into the second round. Jimmy Clausen, bust, second round, right? Brady Quinn, 2 Notre Dame quarterbacks, disappointment. Look at all the hits. Aaron Rodgers, Geno, Chad Pennington dropped to 18. He was expected to go a lot higher. Brett Favre, second round. Boomer Esiason. Bengals had 3 first-round picks, didn't take Boomer. He went in the second round. Look how that turned out. Dan Marino dropped to the end of the first round. Cal Davis and Ken O'Brien went ahead of him. So it worked out really good for 6 of the 8 quarterbacks that slid from where they were ranked. We're waiting on Will Levis. I know everybody's, Will Levis should be on that list. Got more than 2 years, guys, okay? I'll wait on Will. Maybe Will is one on that list. He will be. We'll see how it works out. But 6 of the 8 that slid hit. Yeah. I think Shedeur Sanders will as well.
Look, it's always important to the players when they go because you want to get drafted as high as possible because there's some satisfaction that comes with that. But where you go ultimately is what matters even more. And he just needs to get to the right place now.
And what we're showing here is a look at the uniqueness of Lambeau Field and Green Bay. This is just across the street. These are just people in their home celebrating and enjoying themselves here in the shadow of Lambeau Field. It's one of the things that makes this place so extraordinarily special. Lambeau Field, which will this season be hosting the 69th consecutive season of Packers football, making it the longest continuously used stadium in the National Football League. So a special place to hold this extraordinary event. So the Atlanta Falcons, again, a team that has struggled on defense, struggled for pass rush. One of the few teams that has used all of its allotted time so far to give us all an opportunity to catch our breath. But I'm told that Roger Goodell has the pick in hand and is making his way to the stage now. So the Falcons will announce their selection here. It will be Atlanta, then the Arizona Cardinals on the clock after them, then Cincinnati, Seattle, Tampa Bay, and Denver rounding out the top 20. Here's the commissioner with the Falcons selection.
With the 15th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Atlanta Falcons select Jaylen Walker, defensive end, Georgia.
Well, there he is. That's a name we expected to hear earlier. He won the Butkus Award last year as the nation's best linebacker, 61 tackles and 6.5 sacks for the Bulldogs as they won the SEC. He was a 5-star and a Gatorade Player of the Year coming out of high school in North Carolina.
Carolina took Tetero McMillan, didn't take Jaylen Walker. That allows him to slide down here. Jaylen Walker led the Georgia Bulldogs in tackles for loss with 10.5 and sacks with 6.5. He was off ball as well, getting after it. He was coming off that edge. And what does Atlanta need? They need an edge rusher. For Jaylen Walker, this guy has heavy hands. He jolts that opponent back. He's quick to trigger as an off-ball linebacker, physical, taking on blocks. This kid, number 11 in every game Georgia played this year, guys, top.
Interesting, Mel. He's an off-the-ball linebacker, but the best thing that he does is rush on the edge. Very, very similar to a linebacker that plays for the Cowboys named Michael Parsons. His ability to line up at multiple positions and wreak havoc on the quarterback. He can play off the ball, he can play on the ball, but he was absolutely rushing, Lewis. To me, he reminds me of James Harrison. I'm not concerned about that he's only 6'1". We saw James.
Yeah, look, James Walker's a freak now at 5'11", 250 or whatever he was.
Yeah.
You know how good he was.
Yeah, exactly.
Look, Jaylen's interesting because it's not a whole lot of technique involved with it. Normal. That's just the way he plays. It'll be interesting to see what Raheem Morris does with him and where he plays him because he does play all over the place. 2-point, hand down, off the ball, spy guy. I said in my notes, I said, this guy's going to be a hell of a blitzer. I pity any running back who has to step up in the A-gap and take on this dude. Because I'll tell you, you better have a strong neck and you better be able to play low because this dude is coming now, and he comes with a lot of fury. I'm looking forward to see what they do with him in order to get the pass rush they need.
Well, and to that point, if at first you don't succeed, just keep trying and trying again. The Falcons have been trying to fix their pass rush since Big Beast. This is another effort for Raheem Morris and this defense trying to fix this pass rush. Hopefully it works for him this time.
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting that Mike Green is still on the board for Marshall, who is fantastic.
Yes, yes.
This is the first time the Falcons have used a top 15 pick on a defensive player since Vic Beasley in 2015, and will continue from Green Bay.